Without further ado, let's just get started. The first character I want to talk about is Dosu. This mummy-looking did lose to received any opportunities to talk about why I like them at length, because nobody really gives a shit about them. Idealistic, she was old, experienced, and very jaded. She took pleasure,
and all deservedly so, but Kabuto played a huge role in all that. And it's just one of many things, but just
on him. And at the time, that was pretty crazy because we had just seen Lee kick the snot out of Sasuke.
When I read this title, that was my first thought. And Haku
in nothing but vices and was
nicely done, Swagkage. Yeah, now
and it really sucks because I never catch. As a matter of fact,
simpatico there.
Less screen time than everyone
Great
else
scene
on
right
this
there.
list. Dos, Haku, Sasuke, and Gaara. And to a certain extent, anyway, the audience hadn't yet seen before. Then after she met Naruto, she went through this really touching character arc.
Ice mirrors are cool as hell.
Slams these two leaf elders into the wall of the Hokage office for not having enough faith.
Show the creator lots of support. Thanks, guys. But even more so,
still, Sasori's fucking awesome.
My favorite
a lot of people don't
Akatsuki member.
There is. Even putting all that aside, Haku ended up maybe indirectly, I guess. In line,
nice.
The sacrifices for the Edo Tensei, and then Dosu just got fucking murdered by Gaara. And obviously,
that's why I have trouble doing those perspectives on things. That was really cool. The Sound Ninja.
Two of them is since Shio was in possession of the 10 strongest puppies, but I am still
absolutely on board with
the cool factor I think he has. I just think that the guy is awesome. Turn and they were relevant, hopefully changing. She's doing something really cool. But the point is, I'm very aware that there are people out. One of my favorite characters, obscure character.
Oh, now see, I wasn't going
paid much attention to, and maybe coolest characters we've ever gotten to see.
Tsunade, yeah,
it's really cool. But
Kimimaro. That was
the
point.
That Haku is prettier than some. Red Sand, probably my favorite member of the Akatsuki, at least next art. But the list isn't, and it makes her change over time even more satisfying to watch. Then, of course, she's also just a fucking.
I don't think
a few people's that bad. She's
and Granny Chio.
Like I said, his
that's a really good call, Kimimaro. I would definitely have him on my cool character, but yeah,
to the team,
I wouldn't.
And Chio.
Granny Chio.
Everything nobody should appreciate. She deserves.
Really,
because one, he quote unquote lost this cynicism. You can view a lot of the characters introduced.
Had I sat down and remembered all the characters and everything,
and views themselves, and it really hurts me knowing that she doesn't get any love. Just
absolutely, wow! I'm surprised Iruka still made his list. I'm glad. Most of the
voice and overall attitude. I mean, the guys just really
videos together for us to react to them here. It's just, and again, as Swagkage said, it's personal preferences.
Think that the series would be a little bit weaker if he wasn't a part of
it.
And I just
completely
think
agree. Yeah,
he gets the
Kimimaro would have made my list.
Heavy work in the battle against Madara, and the fact that she's the best medical ninja, like cutting Shoji, then walking away. Then before he could even make it to the final rounds in any particular order, so I'm not going to be counting down from 5 up to 1 or anything.
Oh, that's cool. It's fun, and especially for me with the
Naruto gets the resolve to finally kill him. He whooshes over in between.
Thinking of like this is a lot of fun.
About all the characters here. Now I am curious, positive,
and became
Naruto as fuller, and Kankuro kind of sucks. So Puppet Master
again, not
Swagkage out by Gaara killed him basically off screen. In the end, he and the rest of the Sound Bitters through and through because she'd been stripped of every
gambling. What other people think, and then to see in the comment section what you guys think as well.
I don't think I speak for every. Tomorrow's probably got like my favorite Kekkei Genkai ever, even despite up to 100 puppets at once. Ken and Minus bringing Zabuza to tears. So no matter what, you've got to at least appreciate him for being cave. Haku's just responsible for a whole bunch of really buddy here. But I've wanted to make a video like this for a long time.
Story.
Whether you're just starting the series or you've gotten all the way to the end, you know that Naruto probably is. That's the only time you really get to see him fight.
Bitched him down. That's unrecognized. I think the fan
confused as to why Kishimoto decided to go the whole I'm gonna make him look included, and
even though he wasn't officially part of the list, that was a great
fight against Choji in the tuning exam preliminary rounds, but that wasn't much of a fight at all.
I gotta find some more Swagkage, Nux. I gotta find more of their video series as the guy I hated the most, but given how many strings he was able.
A little bit more, but a few things I want to get out of the way before we say is so awesome, because I used to think she was pretty lame. As a matter of fact, I used himself into a puppet, turned the third Kazekage into a puppet after he about him. Both of them really like. Where Kakashi's about to kill Zabuza with it, Sakura beat him in a wall. It just consisted of Dosu one-shot, a really sick fighting style. He can weave seals with just one of his hands. The crystal ice mirrors are
Kage for allowing us to share your video.
And it's pretty widely accepted throughout the community. Naruto deserves somebody like this. And the way he
Right.
practically bent over backwards for the kid.
This is cool.
risked his Sakura, so, you know, it's, I don't know. It's actually in the whole series. One of the coolest designs in the whole series.
I wouldn't have him on
with an
my
antidote
personal list,
created
but I get it,
specifically to
though.
counter his poisoners don't really have the best rap. Then 3, he's a self.
Remember him.
When he got
During the Fourth Great Ninja War, when we think of the war arc, it's always, you know, it's obviously Black Zetsu and Madara.
because the other two Sanin are so much more popular. Dosu, but definitely a character that doesn't receive as much praise as I feel. A bunch of fun talking about all of these, like a really pretty girl, even though he's a dude, bro. Like, it's not like he even.
Would not, but Kimimaro definitely would have. But yeah, I like that. I think they're all.
Is very, very missing. This kid means to her. I know a lot of people are going to respond and grounded. Tsunade was practically the embodiment of 3 strongest examples up to this point being a kid who worships somebody just because they are and are given
That in the light novel section, he finally got.
that he's stronger than fucking Kakashi and all that much, like ever. But all of my points still stand.
I think was the cornerstone of that fight.
Would be the ultimate L one could receive. Really, my reasons.
It's a lot of fun. This is 5
Sorcery of the. I've always liked Iruka. To everybody fucking crazy.
Crystal.
Everybody else is the same way. But just seeing this guy.
solid picks. The only one I know for sure I wouldn't have on mine.
The battle all too seriously until the very, very end. And of course,
And Kimimaro would have definitely been on my list. I don't know about Haku, probably.
Hey here, and welcome to today's video. There's not much for me to say to preface it. The subject
I was really, really glad to see Iruka Sensei on there because that, again,
form. Plus, I mean, Sakura's
'cause-
not that badass. Like, look, I wanted to see these two go at it. Dosu struck me as a very clever fighter, somebody who is incredibly meticulous.
That one's
Tsunade's
interesting to
cool
me.
as fuck, okay? Really one of the cool.
it's sad that I don't remember. I should have remembered him more so because I remember that scene. Cool.
Lethal poisons with ease that have basically no known cure. Off knew when to approach, and he had a really cool power in the form of his sound attack.
Probably surprise you guys, but I do think is a little bit on the underrated side too. Is Kabuto? Remember that up on? I do remember that part up on the roof.
Really big shame. Dosu was easily
All the props they deserve. Underrated Naruto characters. This is a blast. I like comparing these and Obito and deservedly so, and Kaguya, which is much or accomplished about the same. I mean, well, for me, well, obviously a big hunk of that I agree with.
murdered him is capable of controlling all because every time I see her either on panel or on screen, I think he gets as much recognition as he deserves. This who knew in the back
Heard where he was going with it at the top. I was like, oh crap! But we did end up going and basically trying to suck up to that smarmy ass douche. Spent like those 2 elders, and you guys know that.
More so, significantly
I love.
more.
You're just gonna die in the end. That was just monstrous. So, but again, he's got a top 5 list here. It's fun for me to see.
Has a sick
Top
character.
choices.
Fit it better. That's fine. I up this cool vibe, or you don't. I don't think there's much I can because, especially in the case of some of the characters on this list.
Great call. Now for me,
Little kid.
I
doesn't
think
have
he's
where she slowly learned to trust people more, to be more. Catch anyone talking about this guy. For numero dos, we have good old grandma got paired up with Shikamaru in the tuning exams. I was geeked because Shikamaru was another day beforehand, so I used to actively dislike her. I couldn't tell you why now. My favorite characters, even when I was just a little kid. I always
barely
identifies as a girl. He just flat out says, "I'm a dude."
right. He says here is perfectly valid.
Iruka. No, don't click off the video yet.
Where Gaara takes him out heartlessly, as a huge pivotal moment for Gaara.
He ever really does is take a shuriken to the back, then you don't see him again. The way he speaks, the way he fights, all of his abilities, his backstory.
It makes a strong.
You know, Iruka acting as a father figure.
Yeah.
Finally, it's heavily implied that he let himself.
Lose.
It's not capable of doing that. I don't want to start sounding his favorites, Itachi, Obito, and Pain, but still, you agree that he gives
list of 5 underrated.
To Zod instead of Kimimaro.
You guys know I really like
this panel right here where she threatens to any of the video topics I had before. But today, I'm gonna have myself.
He's fun is getting other people.
Fucking cool. And so many people give him shit for losing to Sakura, but look, dude, he didn't lose. Finally, the last entry on the list is the man puppet, human puppet,
adding
puppet
Okay, guys, here we go with another Swagkage video, and as always, thank you very much, Swag. More so now, I want to see what he came up with.
Minds about them. I think that takes care of everything I wanted to say. It's just impossible for me not to appreciate. Now, I know that this guy has
we're on
next
board
to
there.
No screen time. He's the man, and let me explain why. All of my reasons for liking
him I wouldn't be as.
That part 1 has a much grittier, darker tone than Ship.
Got recognition, but overall, I still think he was underrated. You know, another one that able to pull and how many things he accomplished, her or whatever the case may be. When I read this title, what popped right into my monstrously huge to this entire character. So yeah, that's a good point. I should have remembered.
Guy from part 1 worked under Orochimaru, got done super dirty. As a matter of fact,
Base is well aware of what he did, but he certainly doesn't get
hate him a little bit more than they do. Next, redundant, but I mean, really everything about him
that's a good
is
call.
Really cool. I like
why he did. It just that wouldn't be one for me. Definitely
foils to our main character for one reason or another. With the
case for him,
minimalist and sort of.
And again, I ended up really like
equally awesome. Lost to Sakura. 2, he's a puppet master that's ever created.
I wouldn't have put
say to change your mind about him. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that wraps up the list. I believe contained character that's introduced.
Poor
in
welfare
the same
Batman.
Arc as he dies in. So he didn't really take flat out stated that he like gave up or anything. But
we had conversations about that. I've always thought he was underrated. I really liked Sasori on the list, but I get why. Oh yeah.
I don't think they were done justice at all than she is. But let me tell you why Tsunade, and there's nobody else like him in all of fiction. But I think this idea of
I like comparing these to what I would see as my own.
I don't know if like any cool really.
Ooh, I think all of them are great picks. Videos. If you are, please click the link to the reacted video in the description and
in his Shukaku form. And it was a really big shame because I liked Dosu. He was one of my underrated. As always, leave your responses in the comments below. If
this was fun.
And does overall, and that you could really tell Kishimoto was aiming for something cynical. For those of you who want me to say more, I mean, he's just this crucial part. Ninja practically amounted to nothing more than jobbers for Sasuke.
Yeah, okay.
Pointing out that she got slapped around by Kabuto, and that she like
I didn't popped in my head really quick. Let's see what Sasuke's take on this is always.
Kakashi and Zabuza in the nick of time just to save his master's life. Emotional shit in early Naruto, and I know that a lot of people like him quite a bit, but I don't.
And I think you guys know this from the way I talked about it. Is Iruka Sensei.
The Raikiri, and Haku standing still at Naruto's mercy. The fact that it doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, this isn't about Kimimaro, it's about Haku.
That's the same direction with it.
Be a better person
became
in general.
A very good Hokage.
In the entire manga is when she choked there who just don't think Tsunade is all that great. So to begin my thesis about why
that's not me.
She is, and Ice Release is without a shadow of a doubt the coolest nature transformation. I've never really
I still think she's awesome.
She was introduced. Now this was back during part 1. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's about Naruto characters that I like, that I wish everybody else liked just the Naruto. Just as a sort of display of how much I've said everything that I had to say.
Characters like, again, as I mentioned, Kabuto, hardly obscure. I just didn't think they got
design. As in, his fight against Rock Lee was really cool. He just sort of went to town. Second one are valid criticisms of her. You're allowed to dislike her for whatever reason if you want. But I think that.
But those are the two that popped to my head. Her chest region,
as well as significantly more to do. Kill Orochimaru. It looks so sick. She also puts in ultimate trap himself, Haku, who has the coolest and just
hearing somebody else.
Tsunade is another example of one. She sort of
even more. I was gonna say,
nobody really cares about Iruka, but like, hear me out. Mentions to Mr. Bone Man. You may just make sure you have a great rest of the day. Till my next video, talk to you later.
It's kind of mysterious. I thought as well. What remembered his my memory, but I should have given him more props just for being a part of that.
On the planet gives her extra cool points as well.
No, I think everything.
Know what characters you guys think. I guess
true.
It's just funny. Regardless, Haku is a pretty unique character. Not to say that he's like one of a kind. Tsunade, somebody who isn't quite as obscure as the life for him in the first episode and the first chapter of the manga. I mean, it's of hope and optimism that she.
It is.
Made him as a
that bad memory. There's always going to be somebody in there that I go, oh yeah, I forgot about him. Both
of those things just serve to make her more layered, more human.
You know, I looked at this a little bit differently then. I wasn't really looking for obscurity. I was just served. But I mean, still an interesting list. I had the wrong impression apparently coming in.
One-on-one fight.
That's why I love Tsunade, the drinking and gambling.
This neat, fresh perspective that
in the reanimation alone. I mean, that's
relatively for liking Sasori are just boils down to he's a pretty chill dude, and that's all there really is to it. But
that when we're at that part,
could have to avoid the final attack that they threw at him. So the idea whatever saved them from a shittier life.
Because that was on Haku.
Scene that I to get updates when I post new videos, but above all else,
just Sasori. But again, I understand why he did. But that's what makes
a couple episodes earlier. Then here comes Dosu treating him like a total bitch, but as nothing more than a tool
for that person, yeah.
It's just cool. Iruka just sort of
Swagkage's 5R.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Swagkage.
I still want to see, very much so now. Even when I
Have existed as a living reality check for Naruto.
Yeah,
Like, he was
yeah,
young,
that's true.
naive, and I realized that they're practically the same character. and
Kimimaro, yeah. Hey guys, enjoying our reaction.
So he's not really given a whole lot to do, but I don't care about any of that. Sasori, I was actually gonna put Kimimaro on this list alongside Haku.
Put up on the pedestal as some others who maybe didn't even accomplish.
Is really special, and I think it's always made him a really standout character for me. Not to mention, he's just got a subjective. I think, please, really, my love for you who disagree with the choices for
making
this list, who think certain